Moto Morini, after a long and troubled journey marked by ups and downs, interrupted by its closure and subsequent acquisition in 2018 by a Chinese company, has returned to being a key player on the international motorcycle scene. The company has resumed producing high-quality motorcycles, reclaiming a share of the market with innovative models and remarkable performance. However, as with any great story, it is essential to know one's roots to fully understand its strength. As Alfonso Morini himself said, "Those who forget the past have no future." For this reason, today we recount the story of Alfonso Morini, the man who founded the brand and, with his vision, managed to turn a dream into reality, writing an important page in the history of Italian motorcycling. The name Alfonso Morini resonates in the motorcycling world as that of a pioneer, a tenacious and ingenious inventor. Born in Bologna in 1898, he showed a natural talent for mechanics and a visionary instinct from a young age, which would lead him, through challenges and triumphs, to create one of Italy's most beloved brands, Moto Morini. His tireless dedication, combined with an innovative and often unconventional approach, made possible not only the founding of an iconic company, but also helped to establish Italian excellence in a competitive and ever-evolving sector. Alfonso Morini began his career in the workshop of the Mazzetti brothers, where he learned the basics of mechanics and, most importantly, developed a deep respect for the art of craftsmanship. However, his ambitious spirit could not be confined to a subordinate role. He soon felt the need to branch out on his own. Thus, in 1937, Moto Morini was born, a small, Bologna-based workshop destined to leave an indelible mark on the history of Italian motorcycles. The first models he produced were agile and robust, ideal for the roads of Italy at the time, and quickly gained recognition in the sports world. The victories achieved in local competitions, though modest at first, marked the brand's initial steps toward fame. The pivotal year of 1953 saw the debut of the Moto Morini 175, a lightweight motorcycle designed for both roads and racetracks. The 175 immediately stood out for the quality of its performance. A modern bike equipped with magneto-ignition and a 4-speed gearbox, a vehicle capable of dominating competitions in the right hands. It was with the 175 Sport, known as the Settebello for its sporty charisma and distinctive style, that Moto Morini earned a lasting reputation thanks to Emilio Mendogni, a young and talented rider whom Morini himself discovered and nurtured. In 1953, Mendogni triumphed in Monza and Barcelona in the 125cc category, winning the Italian championship and cementing Moto Morini's presence on the national stage. At the heart of Moto Morini beats a family-oriented reality built around mutual respect and a shared passion for mechanics. Alfonso Morini knew how to motivate and inspire his collaborators, whom he regarded as family. Every worker was treated with respect, and every single production detail was supervised with almost obsessive meticulousness. Moto Morini was not just a company, it was a microcosm, a workshop where the culture of work was expressed in every gesture and every glance. A place where manual labor and mechanical ingenuity fused to create motorcycles with extraordinary performance. The evolution of the Moto Morini lineup was continuous, as was its success on the racing circuits. In 1955, the Rebello model, another extraordinary creation, triumphed at the Moto Giro d'Italia, with Moto Morini riders sweeping the podium. Mendogni took first place, Speciale second and Mattei third. The Rebello also stood out in the Milano-Taranto with performances that further cemented the fame of the Bologna-based company. The range of models expanded to cater to an increasingly broad clientele, from the 98 cubic centimetre Sparazzino to models like the Briscola, Turismo, Gran Turismo and Supersport, culminating in the already celebrated Settebello. Alfonso Morini was not just a great entrepreneur, he was also a man who recognized the value of the talents around him. Among his collaborators were figures like Nerio Biavati, a skilled engineer capable of transforming ideas into fully functioning engines. Walter Scagliarini, an expert in assembly and head of the Reparto course or racing department, and Carlo Lugli and Gino Marchesini, designers who contributed to the development of touring motorcycles. Thanks to this cohesive team, Moto Morini was able to tackle new challenges with readiness and efficiency. Not only did Morini identify exceptional technicians, but he also discovered great riders. Who could forget Giacomo Agostini's early career on a Moto Morini?
In 1958, the company launched the 250 Corsa, a twin-cam racing motorcycle that represented the pinnacle of engineering at the time. Equipped with dual overhead camshafts and delivering 29 horsepower at 10,000 RPM, the 250 quickly proved competitive. Riders like Mendogni and Zubani achieved prestigious victories, propelling Moto Morini to the forefront of Italian and international motorcycling. The Bologna company's commitment to competition was unwavering, and the results came quickly. One episode that vividly illustrates Alfonso Morini's determination and indomitable character occurred during the winter of 1954-55, when the Federazione Motociclistica Italiana decided to introduce new regulations for motorsport derivat di serie, or MSDS. During a series of technical meetings held at the ANCMA, the Association of Manufacturers, there was a heated discussion about various regulatory aspects, including engine configuration. While most manufacturers supported a restriction to single camshaft engines, Morini, who was working on his new model, the Rebello, advocated extending the limit to twin camshaft designs. After a prolonged debate in which he failed to win support for his position, Alfonso stood up and left the room. Moments later, he returned wearing a camel-colored coat. With a theatrical gesture, he pointed at the room and declared, "You know what I'm telling you? On my engines, I'll put one camshaft, two camshaft, a whole forest if I feel like it." Smiling, he shut the door and walked away. This episode, which perfectly encapsulated his indomitable spirit and revolutionary vision, became legend. The 1960s marked the peak of fame for Moto Morini, but also the beginning of a period of reflection. In 1963, the company narrowly missed winning the World Championship against Honda, a Japanese giant with immense resources. This moment became a turning point for Alfonso Morini. Competing with the Asian giants required investments and resources that Moto Morini could not sustain. Nevertheless, the company continued to innovate, launching models like the Corsaro 150 Gran Turismo and the Settebello GTI, keeping the passion for quality and performance alive, even in a context of growing competition. From 1966 to 1968, the encroachment of Japanese motorcycles became impossible to ignore. Not only did brands like Honda, Yamaha and Suzuki dominate international competitions, but they also began to capture ever larger shares of the touring motorcycle market. Moto Morini, with a product range that remained relatively unchanged, faced fierce competition but refused to give up. The Corsarino Scrambler enriched its renowned lineup, while the Reparto course focused primarily on Italian races, leaving the international scene to the unchallenged dominance of the Eastern rivals. In an era when innovation was advancing at an unprecedented pace, Alfonso Morini, despite his advancing age, did not resign himself to defeat. The ingenuity that had enabled him to invent the twin-cam engine after World War II never abandoned him. Despite the power of the Japanese giants, he continued to work on the engine of his 250 twin-cam, developing innovative versions with 3- and 4-valve designs. That tenacity, that refusal to stop, drove him to revisit old models and create new technical solutions, even though he could no longer compete with the industrial might of the new global motorcycle titans. In this context, Moto Morini relied on the rider Angelo Bergamonti, who carried the brand's banner with honor. In 1966, riding the 175, he won the Campionato della Montagna, while his teammate Peronio claimed the Juniores title. A year later, Bergamonti finished second in the Campionato della Montagna with the 175 and first in the Campionato Velocità Seniores with the 250. Meanwhile, the regularity team, composed of Collina, Dossena and Gritti, dominated the Class 100 races in 1967 and 1968. However, these sporting successes could not prevent the crisis looming over the company. The year 1968, a historical turning point worldwide, also left its mark on Moto Morini. Widespread protests and the social upheaval of the Sessantotto deeply affected Italian society, including the dynamics within Moto Morini. Labor unrest and the hot autumn led to strikes and disturbances that severely disrupted production. The company's stability wavered. Supply chain issues and increasing difficulties in meeting delivery deadlines undermined the business's solidity, while the relationship between ownership, management, and workers deteriorated. Despite his charisma and the esteem he inspired, Alfonso Morini fought tirelessly to limit the damage, but confusion, disorder, and the daily struggle began to take their toll. By 1969, Alfonso Morini's body, weakened by stress and illness, began to falter. Though hospitalized at Villa Erbosa for treatment, his unyielding determination remained evident. He insisted he was fine and wanted to return to work immediately. However, his vitality was abruptly extinguished. On June 30th, 1969, he passed away while still under care, leaving an unfillable void, not only for Moto Morini, but for the entire world of motorcycling. After Alfonso Morini's death, the company passed into the hands of his daughter Gabriella, who, despite her law degree, tried to preserve the brand's tradition and continuity. Yet, the esteem and affection surrounding Alfonso Morini's legacy were not enough to maintain the value of his creation. The faithful employees embodied this continuity, but the absence of the founder seemed impossible to overcome. Moto Morini struggled to move forward. The Corsorino and its derivatives were produced until 1972, but initiatives like the Dollaro moped and the twin-cylinder 3.5 models did not achieve the same impact as earlier productions. Nevertheless, Morini continued to excel in the sporting arena, with the 175 remaining one of the fiercest competitors in regularity and hill climb races well beyond 1974. The following years were marked by increasing difficulty in remaining competitive. Off-road bikes like the Camel 500 and Kanguro 350, introduced in 1982, failed to turn the tide. In 1984, the last evolution of the 3.5 line, the K2 model, seemed like the final attempt to revitalize a brand struggling to keep pace with Italian rivals and, above all, foreign competitors. When the brand was sold to the Ducati Cagiva Group in 1987, Moto Morini entered what could be described as a period of hibernation. When the brand was sold to the Ducati Cagiva Group in 1987, Moto Morini entered what could be described as a period of hibernation. Although Ducati retained the rights to the brand, production was halted, and Moto Morini was excluded from development plans. Years later, a wanderer passing by the old Moto Morini factory in Bologna would be struck by a melancholic scene. The walls, though intact, were cracked. Broken windows and rusted frames bore witness to slow, inexorable abandonment. Where had the workers, the technicians, the racers seeking assistance gone? Where were the trucks once loaded with motorcycles bound for far-off destinations? And what had become of the passion that once animated that place, the same passion Alfonso Morini had so skillfully infused into his company? In truth, that scene mirrored a broader picture. Bologna, like many other Italian cities, was changing. Industries were barely surviving, many were sold to foreign interests, while others shut down entirely. Italian motorcycles, like Ducatis, survived only partially. The international market was dominated by Japanese brands, and Italian production had largely shifted to mopeds and scooters. If he were still alive, Alfonso Morini would never have abandoned his post, because he, like the brand he created, would never have accepted the idea of giving up. The figure of Alfonso Morini represents a model of a bygone era of entrepreneurship, one capable of combining technical rigor with artisanal passion. His dedication to work, his ability to inspire and guide his collaborators, and his resilience in the face of adversity created a unique corporate culture founded on values of loyalty, respect, and innovation. Morini was more than just a motorcycle builder. He was a mentor and a father figure to many of his employees. His generosity toward workers, respect for mechanics, and devotion to his company made him a respected and beloved figure. Even after his death, Morini remains in the hearts of Italians as the creator of motorcycles that inspired generations to dream.